In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to arrange our spring arrangement, which is just like an explosion of my favourite whites and greens for spring. And I'm going to be using our Hemming stone vase here, which supports all the stems really nicely. And I'm going to start with the 3 plum blossom stems, because these have loads of kind of shoots coming off each of the stems. So we just want to get these in first so that they've got enough space to kind of branch out. So want to bend this down quite a lot, because if I didn't, it would be way too big. So just bringing it down to be much more in proportion with the vase size and measuring it against the table here on the vase, and give that a nice bend and pop it in. I actually really just love these 3 plum blossom stems on their own in this vase. They do look really effective, but they also act as a lovely kind of filler for this arrangement. So then the next one, I want similar but not exactly the same, so maybe ever so slightly lower, and just bending that down to around about there. Just want to bring that up a little bit. And then the last one, I'm going to have a little bit shorter than all of these and almost filling in this kind of space at the front. So probably around there. And just don't be afraid to bend these stems. Like they bend back, you can pull it out and redo it. But one of the common things that I do tend to see is stems not being bent enough, and you end up with this really kind of big arrangement that isn't in proportion with the vase. So typically speaking, you want an arrangement that's about 1.5 times the height of your vase, which is a good kind of rough guide. Okay, so next up, I'm going to pop in our lovely white viburnum. So I want to get these in early because they're, again, like the biggest kind of flower that we've got. They've got lots of side shoots on each branch. Let me just detangle my stems. So that's one there. Actually got 4 of these in this arrangement. 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so these are a really effortless stem to work with, because the heads kind of they just have this like lovely kind of bouncy hang about them. I don't know how else to describe it, but they are so reminiscent of the real viburnum. So I want one kind of high up here, one a bit lower, and then one maybe coming down here and one there. So we're just going to be mindful that we don't want all of these to be the same height, looking in the same direction. We want it to feel very naturally random, and just nestling them in and around this lovely plum blossom. So apologies, I'm going to stand in front of you a little bit. So this one, I want to bend about here. Now these stems are slightly harder to bend, but they just be confident, give it a go. Just in there. Oh, is that the sunshine coming out? I think it might be. And then the other one, slightly lower than that, just going in here. Again, a nice strong bend. Don't worry too much about things not sitting exactly where you want them at this point. Once we get all the rest of the stems in, everything will hold itself together quite nicely. I want this one kind of lower down, almost starting, this last 2 branches starting at the neck of this vase. So this is a real big bend up to there. And this just helps kind of connect the vase to the flowers so that everything works really nicely together. And then this last one, slightly higher up than this, but still kind of coming forwards. And I'm just going to take a step back now that these are in, and just make sure that I'm happy with the placement. I don't mean, happy with it to walk away from it, but, happy that everything looks naturally random. This stem's being naughty and doesn't want to stay. There you go. So just going to take a little step back from that and make sure. So it looks slightly lopsided, so it's slightly heavier on this side, but I'm not going to worry about that too much now because we've still got some of our lilac to come in, which we can kind of bring out here as well. So yeah, good idea to always step back from it. So I'm going to pop in the lilac stems now. So I've got 3 of these, and I feel like these work so beautifully with these stems, especially the white viburnum. They're like a slightly more muted greeny tone, and the leaves are just heavenly. So working on that basis that we just need to extend things out this side a little bit more. I'm just going to straighten this stem and probably leave that at full height. And just finding a point that you're happy with it. Maybe about there. I'll step back and have a little look. Yeah, that looks okay. And then this one, I feel like we've got an opportunity to put one right in the middle of the vase. So a little bend, not too much. Somewhere around there. And then taking another step back and seeing how it's looking. All okay. I feel like we need one down here now, just to really kind of marry everything together. So nice big bend on that, into there. And you can pull these kind of forward, let the wire do some of the work for you. I just like the way them leaves are kind of connecting with that vase. And then one of the other things that I often find, because we put the plum bottom in first, which is definitely, you know, how I think it's best to do it, but these can kind of get pushed to the back. So I don't really want them leaning on the wall because that doesn't look very natural. So just kind of tweaking them forward a little bit and letting the side shoots kind of disperse throughout those lovely viburnum and lilac just makes it all just feel a bit more natural. And then we've got our final stems to pop in. This is our white parrot tulip. These just kind of, I feel like, bring everything to life, and yeah, tulips for me for spring is perfect. So I want these to feel like they're just kind of dancing throughout everything. So you can give all these stems a nice wiggle and make them feel even more lively than they kind of already are. Leaving this one at full height and just kind of maybe having that peek through the back there. I'll go and stand at the back and make sure that these can be seen behind, but you can easily move anything around. And then another one, I'm just going to bend this one ever so slightly and almost have this one facing forwards. I feel like there's an opportunity here in this gap. And just always looking really for those gaps as you're working and spotting nice opportunities to let the flowers sing. And then I want some lower down in this front area, so maybe one here and maybe one right at the bottom there. Nice, and then last but not least will be one down here, I think, really quite low, so a big bend. And I'm just going to take a step back and make sure that I'm happy with the placement of all of those tulips, which I think I am. And yeah, just final little tweaks really. I'm just going to pull some of these plum blossom out. We're not pulling them out, just kind of pulling them forward and tweaking them into a direction so that they can be seen a little bit better. But otherwise, I'm really happy with that. and it is just such an explosion of spring. I love it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. And if you give it a go and arrange yours and make it, I would love to see it. And yeah, see you again soon.